I'm Adam Calaway. We're at Cattle Chat Corner at NCBA 2014 in Nashville, Tennessee. We're at the Noble Foundation Grow Safe booth, and I have the pleasure of being joined by two of our beef ambassadors. Tell me a little bit first who you are and a little bit about your family operation.
My name is Emma Morris. I'm from Etna, California. It's a small town up in Northern California. We run a cattle operation. We also grow alfalfa, wheat, sunflowers. We run some horses and some sheep. It's been in my family since the mid-1800s, and we run about 80 head of cattle today, about 120 head of sheep, and it's just my dad managing our ranch, and my grandparents live right next to us.
Hi, I'm Justana Tate, and I live in the Texas Panhandle, a small town of McLean, Texas. My family owns and operates a cow-calf operation. It's not really been passed down through the generations, but for the last 5 generations, my ancestors have ranched in our county. Along with cow-calf, due to the current drought, we've also implemented stalker cattle into our operation as well.
So tell me, what is a beef ambassador?
Beef ambassador, I like to think of it as like an ambassador for a country. You know, we're someone who can represent the industry in a positive, professional, transparent way. We're people who know all the facts, someone you can go to when you have questions, concerns, or just want to know more. And really, we're the people who know, and we represent, and so that means we always have to be positive. We always have to be getting, you know, the good word about beef out there.
Well, then tell me, how do you become a beef ambassador?
Well, I became a beef ambassador through my state contest. We had a state contest, and at that contest, we select a team of 5. From there, the high point individual gets to go on to the state national contest, and that's how I came familiar with the contest through 4-H and FFA, and then went to the state contest from there.
Well, let's talk about some of the issues that are going to be facing the agricultural industry, specifically the beef industry right now, and maybe some of the issues that are going to be facing your generation and the next generations coming forward. Sustainability. McDonald's has said they're going to start using verifiable, sustainable beef by 2016. What is sustainability? What does it mean to the producer? And then tell me what it means to the consumer.
Sustainability is absolutely a top priority, and when I look at it, you know, what's more sustainable than something that's been around for 150 years? I'm the 6th generation on my family's ranch. Like I said, we've been there since the mid-1850s, and we've been running cattle that entire time. I'd say that's pretty sustainable. You know, we've done that through a number of ways. One of them is constantly improving. We constantly have to progress. We constantly have to update our methods, keep good records, and you know, yeah, we've been sustainable, and it's just because we've been able to progress with modern agriculture.
How are you guys being sustainable in your operation there in the Texas Panhandle?
Absolutely, I think Emma answered that really well. But along with sustainability, I think of, you know, efficiency. You have to think of this land's going to be handed down to the next generation. We have to conserve that. Along with that, feed is not readily available. It's a small source, so we have to be really careful with our feed efficiency and keep the productive cows and sell the ones that aren't productive.
So then let's talk a little bit about what it means to the consumer, because definitions are always a little bit different between a producer and a consumer maybe. So what do you think consumers are thinking when they hear the word sustainable?
Sustainable has been tossed around a lot, especially recently, and I think when consumers hear sustainable, they're thinking more of like green or environmentally friendly, and I constantly hear that word, and I think, you know, 1852 to 2014, that's pretty sustainable, and so the people that have, you know, been farming for 5-6 years and say they're sustainable, which is true, I think that it needs to be more redefined by cattle producers and by people in the agricultural industry who really have been doing this sustainably for such a long time. And, you know, I think that kind of falls on the industry, because we need to redefine that word and get the word out there that we are being sustainable, and that, you know, it means being able to carry on and improve throughout the years.
One of the other issues that's come up is animal welfare. You know, there's been some portrayals in the mainstream media of animal welfare of agriculture and beef industry being a factory farm and looking at it that way. How is it in reality, especially on your operation?
Well, yesterday in the Cattlemen's College, I heard a rancher who said it perfectly. I thought it was a really interesting outlook. He said, I look at the land as my factory and the cattle as my workers. I'm not going to harm my factory and my workers, because that's going to hurt my operation. So I think that's a great way to look at it. I'd never really heard that perspective before. But along with that, we have to realize that a lot of consumers see our cattle are like our second nature. You know, they're fed before we are. We care for them just like my mom cares for me and my brother. And I think we really have to tell consumers about just how our everyday lives influence that.
So how are you on your particular operation handling animal welfare?
You know, like I said, we run about 80 head of cows, and I guarantee you my dad could name any cow by ear tag number and knows what they've done their entire life. And so we treat our cattle with the utmost respect. I recently actually wrote a blog about how cows come first, even on Christmas. I was out Christmas morning feeding cattle before I got to open any presents. Granted, it did test my patience a little bit, but that's the way of life that we live. And so, of course, animal welfare is the top priority. It's our livelihood. Sorry, go ahead.
So we're at the smallest cow herd that we've had since 1952. We've had 6 straight years of contraction of the cow herd. Tell me why we're going through that process. What factors are impacting it?
Well, this hits really close to me. Living in the Texas Panhandle, we had a severe drought the past couple of years. My family has sold 200 to 300 head of mama cows. When you consider a ranch selling that many cows, that's a huge impact on total income and the amount of cattle you have. So I think this really influences with cattle prices being as high as they are, trying to rebuild your herd. That has a huge impact not only on your ranching style, but your family's income as a whole. So I think that has a huge impact, and with us keeping more replacement heifers, there's less going into the slaughterhouses and less beef is being produced that way.
Well, now we're going to talk about the future of ag. What are some of the challenges you see that you're going to be dealing with as leaders in this industry?
Challenge our industry. I think social media can be very positive and very negative at the same time, and I think that's something as our jobs, especially as beef ambassadors, is to take those negative stories and turn them into a positive and really let the consumers know what the truth is and what isn't the truth. So I think that's something that us as beef ambassadors really have to focus on. But I think in the long term, just like with lean, finely textured beef, also known as pink slime, I think incidents like that are what we really have to focus on, that we don't see them coming, but they're going to be there one day.
If you could tell consumers one thing and give them one message, what would it be?
I would say to really look for the facts. Millennials are people that are constantly searching for answers, and we've actually learned that today. And so when they go to the internet, they're going to see, the first thing that pops up, that's what they're going to click on. And I would be careful to always check your facts and make sure that what you're reading is actually true. Also, that's a call to action to people in the industry because we have to get those facts out there. But just to the average consumer, I would say, always look for the truth.
Well, ladies, thank you so much for stopping by Cattle Chat Corner.
Thank you.
Thank you.